Big summer book haul! Hello everyone, my name's Katrina and today I'm going to be sharing with you all of the books I got in the months of December and January. Thanks to the Boxing Day sales and also the fact that my birthday was in December, so I did receive quite a few bookish gifts from my lovely friends. Thank you all so very much. I have quite a few books that I'm going to be showing you today, so I'm going to try not to go into as much detail as I normally would in book hauls talking about the synopses. While I'm sure some of you would be more than happy to watch a super long book haul, I don't want to be filming and editing this video for years, so I'm going to try and make it as concise as I can. First of all, I got quite a few books from subscription boxes in December and January. All of these lovely books. I do have links down below to all of the unboxings for these. We have 2 YA Chronicles boxes, 2 Fairy Loot boxes, 2 Page Habit boxes, as well as the Illumicrate Howler edition, which is where the Iron Gold book came from. That one I would certainly recommend going to take a look at because that's probably one of my favorite subscription boxes. It had so many Red Rising items. It was amazing, and I think there may still be some Howler boxes available. So if you wanted to get an idea of what you would receive, if you need a bit of persuasion, then go and check them out. Where do I begin? Okay, why don't I start with some of the books that I'm most anticipating this year? So with that, I will be talking about all of the books I received from publishers and authors. I was lucky enough to be invited as a panelist at the YA Day hosted in Melbourne at the end of January. That was such a fun event, and I will be posting up a vlog of that weekend. I'm hoping to put it up by the end of the week, but we shall see. While I was in Melbourne, I caught up with Jay Kristoff for lunch, and he was super generous. Oh my gosh, guys. I am forever in Jay Kristoff's debt. He gave me an advanced copy of Lifelike as well as a finished copy of Obsidio, the 3rd book in the Illuminae files, which is one of my faves, one of my all-time faves, and obviously I have already started Obsidio and I cannot wait to finish it. Really looking forward to getting into Lifelike at some point as well. This is a new series, I think, for Jay Kristoff. It's separate from everything else he's come out with so far, and this one is a sci-fi one. There are also 2 really interestingly named characters in here. One is called Lemon Fresh, another one is called Cricket, and they're like a little robot sidekick. So yeah, I'm excited. Lifelike will be publishing in May, Obsidio will be publishing in March. I also requested a copy of Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi, another one of my most anticipated releases of 2018. This is obviously an advanced copy. This is what the cover looks like. Isn't it beautiful? This one is coming out in March and has to do with the oppression of magic and those that do wield magical abilities. I think there's also a rogue princess who the main character kind of forms an alliance with. It sounds like it's going to be amazing. Cannot wait to get into this one. Whisper by Lynette Noni, which is the 1st book in a new series by Lynette Noni. It kind of sounds Shatter Me-esque. The main character hasn't spoken a single word for a long time because I think their words have power or they're destructive or something along those lines. It sounds really interesting and I'm really looking forward to it. It's coming out in May this year, but I am hoping to read it this month. So you should get some more of my thoughts on it very soon. The rest of the review copies I received were sent to me unsolicited. The first one I'm going to be sharing with you is one that I was not expecting at all. It came from the publisher over in the States, and it is Broken Beautiful Hearts by Cami Garcia. It also came with this necklace and a personalized handwritten letter from the author as well. So I opened this up and it was just like the most wonderful surprise. Was not expecting it whatsoever. This one sounds like it's going to be quite hard hitting. It does draw upon Cami Garcia's own experience with a boyfriend that does physically harm her, and a lot of people don't believe that he actually did it. They don't believe her. This one will be coming out in February, and a huge thank you Pan Macmillan USA for sending me this lovely surprise. Pantera Press also sent me a couple more books in addition to Whisper, including Grey Veil by Lynette Noni. I don't have my copy on me right now. I have lent it to a friend. This is the 4th book in the Majoran Chronicles, which is such a fun magical series with some great friendships, as well as a really mysterious library, which is kind of a character of its own. I will be doing a full review of that one sometime soon as well because it just came out on the 1st of February. Pantera also sent me a copy of If I Tell You by Alicia Tuckerman. This is a debut contemporary lovers YA novel coming out in March, where the main character Alex starts developing feelings for another girl who is openly gay, but she herself, I don't think, has told anyone about her sexuality or anything like that. She does, however, live in a small town where relationships between 2 people of the same sex are not looked upon kindly. I do also think one of the characters has a hereditary condition, and I think this is also own voices as well. Really looking forward to getting into this one, hoping to pick it up relatively soon. I received a few books from Penguin Random House. The first one is Neverland by Margot McGovern, another debut contemporary lovers YA novel. This one does very heavily deal with mental illness. The main character attempts to take her own life, and afterwards she is brought back to her home island, which has been turned into a boarding school for teens with mental illnesses. Trigger warnings here for self-harm, suicide, abuse, as well as eating disorders. Quite an intense book. I have already read it. I gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars. I did really enjoy it. I won't say any more because I will be doing a review of this one, but it is coming out in April. I was also sent a copy of Batman Nightwalker by Marie Lu. I haven't yet read any of these DC Icons series, though I do also own Wonder Woman Warbringer by Leigh Bardugo. This one I received at kind of like the perfect time though, because recently I have been watching some of the Batman movies as well as the TV series Gotham, so I'm just really into the Batman at the moment, so maybe I'll pick this one up kind of soon. We shall see. I also received The Reigns by Greg Hurwitz. I actually haven't heard anything about this one, so if any of you guys have read it, definitely let me know what you thought. But from what I can gather, it seems like a kind of apocalyptic story with some infection that turns people into almost zombies. The last review copy I received was Mississippi Roll, edited by George R.R. Martin, so there are a few authors that have collaborated on this one. I'm trying to wrap my head around what these books are exactly. I think this is part of the Wild Cards universe, so I think there may be separate volumes with different authors potentially. This one, however, is set after World War II. I think there's an alien virus. Really interesting by the sounds of it. Now for a few books that I acquired one way or another, for example giveaways, things like that. This first one is the Penguin Teen Australia Superproof for 2018. I received one of these in a subscription box this month, and this second copy I received when I attended the Penguin Teen Australia showcase in Sydney. They were talking about a lot of their upcoming releases. They had author Margot McGovern as well as Siobhan Plaza there with some little Q&A sessions of them talking about their upcoming releases. The Superproof was included in the goodie bags, and it does have extracts for some of their titles coming out this year. I was also super lucky and won a giveaway. So the Hachette Young Adult social media team Data Book, they hosted a giveaway for Tempests and Slaughter by Tamora Pierce, and I was one of the lucky winners, and I'm so excited! I read a couple of Tamora Pierce's series way back when in my childhood and absolutely fell in love, so I was really excited to hear that she was coming out with another series that is set in the same world as the Song of the Lioness Quartet. It's set in Tortal. I was super lucky and won a copy of the first book in this series. It is called The Numair Chronicles. These next two books I received from my friend who works at HarperCollins. She was just kind of seeing if anyone wanted these books, and I was like, yes please, I'm interested in them, would like to give them a try. These two books are already out, but it just saves me going out and buying finished copies, doesn't it? So these two books are Flamecaster and Shadowcaster by Cinda Williams Chimer. These are books 1 and 2 of the Shattered Realms series, and in the past I've heard some pretty good things about her other series, the Air Chronicles and the Seven Realms series. So I've always been really intrigued and wanted to pick up some of her books, just for some reason never got around to it, but here we go. I'm excited to see what I think of these. Already starting to run low on space. Oh my goodness. Let's see if I can actually fit everything up here. Let's go through the books I received for my birthday. Killers of the Flower Moon by David Gran. This one I heard about from one of our interns at Bloomsbury. She said it was amazing, sounded really interesting, so I was like, hey, why not put this on my wish list? And I'm really looking forward to getting to this one. This is non-fiction. Who am I putting a non-fiction book on my shelves? This is very rare indeed. This recounts the events surrounding the FBI's first major homicide investigation. So in the 1920s, there was oil discovered beneath the land of the Osage Indian Nation in Oklahoma. They became very rich, and then members of the Osage Nation started to be killed off one by one. The FBI took up the case. It sounds like it's going to be quite interesting. I am fascinated. Have any of you guys read this? Let me know. I was also gifted Red Seas Under Red Skies and The Republic of Thieves by Scott Lynch. One of my friends has told me that she's had trouble finding her gift for me, and I have a strong suspicion that that is the first book in the Gentleman's Bastard series. So at some point I will likely have The Lies of Loch Lamora as well. I have heard some pretty fantastic things about this series, been wanting to get to it for a really long time now. I remember towards the start of actually having my booktube channel, someone talking about The Lies of Loch Lamora, and I've been wanting to get to it ever since. hasn't happened yet. I'm almost ready to begin the series. I also received books 1, 2, and 4, I believe, of the Green Rider series by Kristen Britton. So that's Green Rider, First Rider's Call, and Black Veil. I think my friend said that book 3 was not available when she picked them up, so I have these ones anyway. I actually hadn't heard of these books before, so I'm really interested to hear your guys' thoughts if any of you have read this series. From what I can tell, it is a fantasy with magic, which I'm always game for, so yeah, let me know your thoughts. The Last Wish by Andrzej Sapkowski. So this is the book series that the Witcher games are based on. I played Witcher 3 a couple of years ago and absolutely loved it. I had so much fun playing that game. So when I heard that it was originally a book, I was like, oh, well, I'm gonna have to go read it now, don't I? So added it to the wish list. Now I have it and I'm really, really excited about it. Guys, I love The Witcher. Really looking forward to seeing what I think of the books as well. We are now down to the last massive stack of books. So these are all the ones that I bought in December and January. Most of these I got on Boxing Day. A few of them I got when I was in Melbourne as well. You know, hanging out with bookish people. We go to bookstores. Sometimes you buy books. This was one of those times. The Incredible Adventures of Cinnamon Girl by Melissa Keel. I've heard a few of my friends rave about this book as well as Melissa Keel in general. So I decided to finally pick this one up. I couldn't tell you a single thing about this book, but I do trust those friends' recommendations, so I'm really looking forward to getting to this one at some point. The Power by Naomi Alderman. I've been seeing this one a lot lately and been hearing some pretty fantastic things about it, so I decided to pick it up. This one is all about if the power dynamic between men and women was switched. What would society be like in that situation? So it says here, with a flick of the fingers, they can inflict terrible pain, even death. So it's very intense, kind of the power that they do hold. Sounds like it's going to be a really interesting read. The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. Again, I've been hearing some really great things about this one. I've heard it has fantastic characters. I think we also have some gender fluid characters as well as a lot of non-straight relationships, if I remember correctly. This is sci-fi, it is a space opera, and I don't think it is high in action from what I've seen, but it is more of a character-driven book, which I do like. So, really looking forward to getting to this. The Reader by Tracy Chi. I've been considering getting this one for a little while now. I first saw it about a year ago when I was over in the States. I saw it in Barnes & Noble and I was like, ooh, that's an interesting cover. Should I get it? Should I not? I decided against it because I already had so many books with me at the time and I hadn't actually heard anything about it yet. Since then, I still haven't heard much about this, but every time I do see this in a bookstore, I am really drawn to it. So again, gravitated towards this one, and I learned that in this world, reading is unheard of. Is not a thing. But the main character, after some unfortunate things happen to her family, she discovers a book, and I think she starts to unravel the mysteries of the book itself, like learning what it contains potentially. Not sure exactly, I'll have to read to find out, but just the fact that it's about reading sounds pretty cool to me. So if any of you guys have read this, let me know your thoughts. Shades of Grey by Jasper Fforde. This one has a really interesting concept, particularly in terms of the world. So there's a social hierarchy that is determined by your ability to perceive colour. So at the very bottom, we have grey. They're not able to perceive any colour, just black and white. And then next up we have red, which is just making me think of Red Rising because their social class also at the bottom is red. Anyway, if you're a red, you're able to perceive the colour red, and I think different hues of red as well. I'm really fascinated by this world, so looking forward to getting into it. I think it's also dystopian too. The Subtle Knife and the Amber Spyglass by Philip Pullman. Books 2 and 3 in the His Dark Materials series. I recently read book 1, which I did quite like. I listened to the audiobook. I have read The Subtle Knife, like I read book 2 of this series forever ago, years and years ago, because I didn't have anything else to read on a holiday and that was the only book my brother had. So I picked up book 2 of the series. Made no sense, couldn't tell you a single thing about it. But last year I did decide to start the series from the beginning this time, and I've picked up books 2 and 3 so I can continue. Yeah, not gonna get everything on here, but that's okay. At the YA Day in Melbourne, one of the panels featured Australian authors. They were doing some signings there, so I decided to pick up a couple of the books. I do already have a copy of Frankie by Siobhan Flozza, which I have already had signed, so I didn't pick up that up, but I did pick up the other 2 authors' books. We have Ida by Alison Evans and Gap Year in Ghost Town by Michael Pride. This is his most recent. He has come out with a lot of books, I have learned. I do already own a copy of Ida. I bought myself a second copy so I could get that signed for myself, but I was okay with making this decision to buy a second copy because I would like to do a giveaway for it, since this is a Love Us YA book, and it also does feature some gender fluid, bisexual and transgender characters in it. So I thought that this would be a pretty cool book to offer as a giveaway prize, and then Gap Year in Gracetown. I don't think I'd actually heard of any of Michael Pryor's other books before. I've seen this cover a little bit recently floating around and I really liked him on the panel, so I thought I would support him. And while I'm at it, get my book signed. My battery is running really low, so I'm going to have to kind of whiz through these last ones. So, The Upside of Unrequited by Becky Albertalli. I read Simon vs. the Homo sapiens Agenda back when that came out, really enjoyed it. I've been wanting to get to this one, but just never picked it up for some reason, so I decided to remedy that, and I bought the book. Beneath the Sugar Sky by Seanan Maguire, the third book in the Wayward Children series. I'm not going to go into any detail about this one since it is the third book, but the series as a whole is just really fun, magical, fantastical, whimsical, dark, and eerie, all rolled into one. Would really recommend the series, and in this installment with our main character we do get some fat representation. Just want to note as well, I've heard from some people that they thought it was really good rep, and from other people they've mentioned that it does focus on the main character's weight a little bit too much. It's brought up quite frequently, and when you compare how much emphasis is on her weight compared to some of the other identities and minorities in the book, it does seem a little bit imbalanced. So just wanted to mention that as well. Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. I'll get to this at some point. Saw this really beautiful cover, so I bought it. Don't think I need to explain myself with this one. The Woman in the Window by AJ Finn. This is the biannual Bibliothon book club pick for February through April. I very rarely read mysteries or thrillers or anything like that, so really interested to see what I think of this one. I was really excited for that fact, since this is a genre I very rarely read from. So if you want to join us in reading this book over the next few months, you are more than welcome to. We will be doing a live show at the end of April, beginning of May, talking all about the book, so you're welcome to join us for that too. The Last Magician by Lisa Maxwell. We have magic, a thief, I think there's some time travel in here as well. Really interested by this one. The Star-Touched Queen by Roshani Chokshi. We have a curse, political marriages, rebellions. I've heard some pretty great things about this one as well, so hopefully I can get to it kind of soon. The last book that I have to show you today is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. In this one, Evelyn Hugo is talking to a reporter reflecting back on her glamorous and scandalous life. Again, I've been hearing really incredible things about this one recently. It just keeps popping up in my feed, people raving about it, so looking forward to this. I think that is all that I have to show you in this video, but even still, I'm gonna have to wrap up this video anyway because my camera is about to die. Really sorry I had to kind of rush through the end here, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video anyway. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you very soon in a new one, and until then, I will talk to you in the comments. Bye!